What's up, y'all? Thanks for having me today. As I said, my name's Connor. I work at ABBA downtown, and today I was tasked with making a Collins-style cocktail, prominently featuring Empress gin. I started with Empress gin. I feel like with a cocktail, you start with the base spirit, and I was looking over all the botanicals, and I saw, I used the Indigo as a float, and then there's the Elderflower actually mixed in with it. And with the botanicals, like we all know with like the Indigo, it brings that beautiful color that you can't find in any other one. But also that pea flower, it adds a really nice like mouthfeel and texture that you sometimes with especially gin couldn't get unless you wanted to like fat wash it. But that strips away a lot of like the personality of it. Some of the other botanicals are black carrot. There's the Empress black tea in it as well that adds like some astringency, a little bit of like tannins to it, kind of helps balance it out. And then there's also cinnamon in there, there's ginger. That reminds me of fall. So for my inspiration for this cocktail, I wanted to do a fall themed Tom Collins cocktail. I also, wanted something that would be good drinking poolside at the Cabana Club. So that's why we use the plastic tumbler and we use the Tom Collins glass because like they named the cocktail after the glass, why wouldn't you use it? But like my big inspiration for it was college football. I am born and raised in a college football town. My family owns a small family-owned restaurant there. So football weekends, it's tailgating, it's touchdowns, and it's slinging drinks. It's more than just, going to a game on a Friday or Saturday night. And my football team, I don't think that would be too popular down here. And since we're in the hospitality business, I wanted one that looked and prominently featured our own UT Longhorns. That's why it's got that orange color to it. What gives it that orange color is I made a carrot cordial. I wanted this cocktail to be like Hare the dog, morning, tailgating. Like I said, poolside at an 11 a.m. game, it's hanging out over here. So I added a lot of spices to it, ones that are familiar with the botanicals. There's ginger in there, there's nutmeg, there's cinnamon, there's some turmeric to help your joints and things like that in the morning. There's that carrot orange in there. I put a lot of lemon zest and a little bit of citric acid in the cordial because we're doing a Tom Collins riff and there isn't any fruit juice in there. There isn't any citrus juice in there. But like I said, I didn't want this to be like a spring or a summertime cocktail. We're in fall season, so I wanted a fall forward cocktail with it. Little bit of ginger, a little bit of ginger syrup because there's fresh ginger in it, but I wanted a little bit of that candy ginger too. And then it's topped off with the soda from Rambler, which is local, Texas, Austin. And they use a little bit of, limestone in there, which I think once again adds a little bit of those minerality notes that kind of help it, where if you were making a classic Tom Collins, could absolutely hurt it.
Give it up for Connor. All right. I have a question for you because I just started ranting and raving about Albert earlier. How does your work over there, actually, I'll go a bit further than that. How does your origins of, I don't know if he's told you, he's from all the way from Chicago. So how does your Chicago origins play into this cocktail as well?
Well, Chicago and ABBA, I think, are very, we'll call them professional places. They're sleek, they're beautiful, and but they do have a simplicity to them. They're not over the top. Much like UT fans. UT fans aren't taking their shirts off at games. They're not loud, they're not screaming, and yet they still achieve excellence and greatness. So I wanted something that was visually stunning without any unnecessary garnishes or anything like that. And then, like I said, with ABBA too, it helps you with being professional, knowing how to speak, things like that, taking things seriously. We have to wear uniforms, they have to be clean. I've worked in a lot of bars and a lot of restaurants where that's not necessarily a priority, and I think that helps you when making cocktails when you're at home, taking things seriously.
I think the SEC championship last year would say otherwise. Giga Maggies. Jokes aside, I'm going to turn it over to the judges now, and they got a couple of questions for you.
Thank you.
Hi. So firstly, I just want to say I'm really, really proud of you. You were one of the only people who actually reached out to me and sat down with me and really got into your cocktail specs and asked me questions about the gin to just really incorporate it. I love that you used 2 different gins. No one else thought to do that. The only one note was that you said unnecessary garnishes. I know I taught you that. You didn't need the lemon. The lemon was unnecessary. It just kind of detracted.
It holds the it holds the carrot in place.
True, but
And
you could have made it so it
was used.
stayed on the glass. You could have made it so the spiral stayed, but it was beautiful. Definitely, you're like a 4.98 out of 5 for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a social media guy, so I'm a garnish whore, so just add more next time.
Yo, but you would still take a picture of that and post it, right? It still was
Oh,
beautiful
100%.
without all of those garnishes.
Yes. I want all the
Thank you.
garnishes.
I appreciate you.
If you want like a burger on top, you know, just like chop into as it drinks this.
A lot of my inspiration was like those, like I said, those Hare of the Dog cocktails. So like kind of like a Bloody Mary and things like that. And that's where I used like a spiced carrot cordial with like a lot of ingredients instead of like a tomato juice.
No, that's what really stood out to me is I'm not a big Bloody Mary fan. So to have other options out there is really fun. And if I'm not doing a mimosa that day, what else can I have? So this is really cool to have something for Hare of the Dog, which I'm a big believer in, obviously.
My personal favorite, Bud Light with a splash of Sunny D.
Oh,
That'll get you going in the morning.
I like that.
I love the details. So since you're making the garnish, the layers, everything obviously is beautiful. My question is, how do you handle the citrus here? Because I know that you use citric acid, but why don't you use regular juice or having more citrusy side into it?
Yeah, Collins obviously is very citrus driven, specifically lemon. And so I wanted the lemon to kind of like balance and tie it out to make it not too earthy, not too sweet, not too fall related. And I wanted to use lemon in many other ways. That's why there's lemon zest in the cordial. There is the, like I said, the citric acid, and then you get that lemon on top. So when you first go in, it is bright and lemony and refreshing.
Longhorn fans are the quietest 100,000 fans in the world. I read that in your story. I guess you're from Penn State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nailed it.
So that's Nittany Lions.
Yeah.
That's the only other 100,000 fan stadium that I thought you would be referring to. Yeah, we don't really get too crazy.
Hey,
so,
and you still like it. Hey, to each their own. They do it differently, and I love that.
Yeah, I love the drink. It's beautiful. The presentation's nice. I like the. Did you ribbon that and dehydrate it yourself?
Oh no!
The
I'm
carrot?
so sorry. I forgot to mention that it was done by Trader Nick's for me. So another local business we're supporting.
Shout out to Trader Nick's. They've got a booth set up over here if you guys want to come check them out.
I did make the ice myself, and I wanted to do that. I've never done that before, and I mean, this was a challenging contest. We're competing against pros here, but I wanted to challenge myself in a way that like kind of scared me and that like I definitely knew I wasn't comfortable with. Mm-hmm. So I know it's not perfect, but like I think it was a pretty all right job and goes good in there.
Yeah, nice touch.
Thank you.
It's a good cocktail. I like it. It's got all the elements of a Tom Collins in there. I think the carrot juice definitely makes it a little heavier than you would get from a Tom Collins, but I'm okay with that. I like that you took the risk. So.
Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Connor.